ain't shy. He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs, the SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Tide and Tiger Land, nobody does it like Tom Abraham.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Testosterone high today.
Yeah, Tom's a man, he's got the plan, he's really got it made. What a wife he's got, she's smoking hot, check out the junkyard babe. When everything is said and done, no one can beat his show. He's a high-tech redneck, Tony Soprano. If you love sports without the fluff, he's got the master plan. Cause nobody does it like Tom Abraham, yeah.
I guess I'm on here, am I on? Can somebody respond?
Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Football Friday in the Doghouse. I am your host, Tom Abraham. Voice is all warmed up after I did a 2-hour shift with Scott Tyson. I appreciate him. I appreciate him asking me to go on the show with him. I appreciate him asking me to do the show with him. I'm very, very fired up about that. But it is Football Friday here in the Tom Abraham Show. And Football Friday means football music. And football music means the greatest single piece of sports music ever recorded. God, I haven't heard this in a minute. I've been off like the last 15 Fridays. I mean, look. This got Grizz up and out of his chair because there's not enough room for him to dance in the control room. Those of you that are watching on YouTube or Twitch or Facebook Live or Twitter, look at him dance! Look at Grizz go! That's outstanding. I never could get Joe out of his chair. Oh, you guys got to be watching this, man. We got lots to get into today. From NFL camps being open and minicamp, mandatory minicamps, to this 12-team college football playoff proposal. And as far as I'm concerned, there are a lot of bugs to be worked out in this thing. And this could all be solved with a little conference realignment, in my opinion. All right? That's all we need, is a little conference realignment. And we could fix a lot of these problems. My proposal is coming up a little bit later on. I will have that for you here in just a few minutes. Phone lines are open, 256-576-4977. It's 256-576-4977. It's the good old-fashioned way to communicate with the show. We also have your digital doghouse for you as well. Our Twitter feed is at Tom Abraham Show, where we've retweeted the video stream of the show. On Facebook, it's Tom Abraham Show. Your text window, 7329-TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469. The Zone is on Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook at 97.7 ESPN. And online at 977ESPN.com. The app as well, get that bad boy. Plus, check out the YouTube page, 97.7 ESPN. The Zone is our YouTube page. Hit the bell. Hit the like button, get the notifications so that you know that we are on. It's that easy. You can also put comments up at the Facebook page at 97.7 ESPN if you're watching the show. We'll read those on the air as well if you want to jump in and check that out. I got to say, it looks pretty good. I mean, what I'm looking at right now, it looks pretty good. Whatever Grizz has come up with, I'm happy with it. I'm totally happy with it. Looks good. Today, off the top of the show, NFL insider Allan Bell Jr. is scheduled to join us with NFL minicamps open across the country. A lot of focus here on Julio Jones in Nashville, who just looks weird in that number 2. But he thinks that the Titans' offense will be unstoppable.
Defense is like, you really don't have to pick your poison. So, I mean, if you want to, stay in the box, put, 9 in the box, right? guy like Derrick Henry in the backfield, you know, you got to respect him. So then that's when me and AJ go to work outside. And then if you only got 8 in the box, they're going to go to work in the backfield. You know, great offensive line, things like that, scheme, stuff like that. But, I mean, you just got to pick your poison at the end of the day. But we're just going to go out there and play for one another. That's the culture of the team here. Just going out there and enjoying it, just having fun, and also just do your job at the end of the day.
Yeah. Got 9 cliches in there. Looks weird in that number 2. I'm just going to say this about that. Is this offense any better than the one he just came from now with him in it? I mean, is Ryan Tannehill really better than Matt Ryan? At worst, it's a wash. At best, I think Matt Ryan's better. Matt Ryan is cobbling together a Hall of Fame career. Ryan Tannehill has had a couple of really good years. Kelvin Ridley on the outside. Kyle Pitts now in the nasty split at tight end. Yes, Derrick Henry's a better running back. But you say great offensive line? I say not so much great offensive line. I don't know if I'm going great offensive line. I don't know that this offense is much better. The question is, the only difference will be, will the defense be better? That's the key. Textman Grumpy says, whoa! Wait a minute. I didn't know you were on in this time slot. 7 to 9. I'm not. I was filling in for Drew. That's all that was. That was just me filling in for Drew. You know Drew.
I know Tom, but I'm struggling on who the other person is.
Drew. That's all that was. Drew was out somewhere.
We're going to kick you in the teeth.
He was doing that.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
That's Drew, okay? So I was filling in. That's all I'm saying about that. I had fun with Scott Tyson. I don't know that I've ever done a show with Scott Tyson before. That's good. I enjoyed it. And nationally, the story is Aaron Rodgers not being in camp in Green Bay. And the general impression is that the public is solidly behind Rodgers in this dispute with the team. But you know what? I'm not good with that. I'm not good with this at all. I get that he's upset. We all know that you're upset. But now you're basically bailing on your team. I can't get with that. You made your freaking point. You're making gobs of money. Don't be 1-5 in the NFC Conference Championship games. Go play now. You're done with messing around. Everybody said, oh, he has all the leverage. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know that he has all the leverage. If he doesn't play, he gets no money. So he has all the leverage. And you know what? There's a reason they drafted Jordan Love in the first round. Maybe, just maybe, Jordan Love doesn't suck. What if that happens? Text window. Smokey Mike says, sounds like Chad is going to have one hell of a Friday controlling you. Nobody controls me. Smokey Mike. Makes you think anybody is controlling me. Nobody's controlling me. Yes, I know Chad likes to have a controller in his hands all the time. But he's not controlling me. It's totally different. Top of the 11, David Moulton from the SEC on CBS. And Fox Sports Southwest. And NFL Fox. David is the spotter for Gary Danielson on Saturdays and for Troy Aikman on Sundays. That doesn't suck. He'll join us. We'll talk college football playoff expansion. I think there's more questions than answers right now. I'll be honest with you. And I'm working on a Friday fishing report for you because it's Friday. And I'm working on that. We'll see. I'm out to a couple of guys. Worst case scenario, I'll just give you the Friday fishing report. Because I certainly could do that. I will be fishing in the morning. I'm not sure where I'm fishing in the morning, but I will be fishing in the morning. Rough finish for the Braves last night.
The 0-1 pitch. Swung on. Hit high and deep to left center field. Back goes Almonte. He's at the wall, and it's off the wall. 2 runs are going to score. Herrera is headed to the plate. Phillies win. Segura missed a homer by about a foot.
And the Phillies win.
The runners both tagged. That's why there was a delayed score by Herrera. It came hard off the wall. Braves tried to get it in quickly, but not in time.
Yeah.
The Braves get 2 in the 10th. The Phillies get 3, and they win it 4-3.
That's annoying. That's friggin' annoying. I mean, the Phillies never they it's happened 2 days in a row, and now suddenly lost the series in Philadelphia. They go there at 500. We're all like hip hip hooray, and then the next thing you know, they lose the series. They're back to 2 games under 500. This might be a seminal moment. This might be the breaking point for the Braves. Want to react to that? You can. One thing about this show is we're going to give you a lot of different topics to hit on. So if you want to react to that, go ahead and react to it. It was a miserable baseball day for me yesterday. Because after that mess yesterday afternoon, I'm watching the Yankees cruise to a sweep of the Twins. By the way, those of you that are watching, my tragically hip black-on-black New York Yankee hat, because I am just that cool. So I'm watching the Yankees cruise to a sweep of the Twins, much needed. Giancarlo Stanton hitting home runs all over the place. He's healthy all of a sudden. Aaron Judge playing great. You know that in the 3 years they've been together, Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton have only hit a home run on the same game 10 times? 10 games in the 3 years they've been together have they both raked at the same time. Anyway, I'm watching a game, and Aroldis Chapman comes in to close out. I mean, you know, it's Aroldis Chapman, right? He's automatic. He comes in to close a 2-run lead, 5-3 in the 9th. Dude got lit up. He threw 5 strikes. 5 strikes. Josh Donaldson and Nelson Cruz each hit 2-run home runs at the bottom of the 9th. Game over. Just like, I mean, that escalated in a hurry. He walked a guy, gave up a home run to Donaldson. He gave up a hard single, and he gave up a home run to Cruz. Good night, everybody. What the heck was that? My guy over there in the glass room, Smokey Mike's like, hey, how come we didn't do this one? How come I didn't get any camera time when I was producing the show? Are you kidding me? We'd have had to blur your face or something, Mike. If you were on there, we'd have to, like, digitize your face, okay? Because, you know, just saying, you'd have broke the camera. He's playing the platters that matter in the stacks of wax. Keep me on the air. He's working the buttons like the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain this morning. Living large on a Friday. It's Coach Chris.
Who in the blue hell are you?
I'm the producer of the show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put the thing together on a stick and polish.
Brilliant! I've got $100 smoking in my billfold. I know I ought to save it, but it's burning a hole. Right through my pocket and into my skin. Come Monday morning, I'll be broke again. It's finally Friday, I'm free again. I got my motor running for a wild weekend. It's finally Friday, I'm out of control. Forget the working blues and let the good times roll.
Someone call someone because there's a cleanup on aisle 3 as a man is down.
It's like taking poison, like rat poison.
It's not St. Patty's Day, so that's a different day entirely.
Hey, Grizz. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing just fine, and man, we're getting it lit up in the Twitch chat as well. Had a Steele saying anybody but the Yankees, and Chad makes this much more pretty. Not the right word. So thank you, Steele, for you reaching out, and yeah, man, I feel great. I mean, other than literally sitting in the studio and having to listen/watch the Braves just lose another one late in the game. And, man, can the bats wake up again? Do we need the sage again? I mean, what is going on over there?
I didn't know that we could do the Twitch chat. I thought we could only.
Okay.
So what's going on?
I
see it's not on the screen.
No.
It's over to the side.
Because if we put it on the screen,
then it wipes out everything?
We might be running a little heavy.
Yeah.
But no, I have it up, and it'll be fine. All you got to do is go to twitch.tv/977ESPN, and you can interact. You have to make an account to type and everything like that and to interact with it. So you do have to make an account, but you can watch without having to be a Twitch member. So, yeah, and Twitch is totally free. I don't understand why people don't do this more often. Twitch is free.
Yeah,
you don't have to pay for us.
So you can check that out.
But if you want to subscribe, eventually that will come.
And it's at the Facebook page as well at 97.7 ESPN. It's on Twitter. It's on the YouTube. So you got it going everywhere.
Everywhere.
You got it going everywhere.
We run through Restream, and what that does is it gives you 4 different outlets to put it out.
That's more detail than we need to know. I just want to know that it's everywhere. All right, so it's out there. This is something that we've been playing with for a while. We weren't sure that we had enough horsepower to make it run. But right now it seems to be running good. I mean, it looks good to me. I like it. I mean, you could do a little bit more fancy, like, maybe a little trim around the box, type thing like that, or boxes or something, but I don't know. That looks really good.
That's just what I got to work with Zoom.
And it's got the TOC logo down there in the corner, which is good because our various sponsors will pop up in there as well, and we like that. So that's a good job by you, Grizz. I'm quite distracted today, Grizz, as you know, because it's today is opening day of the Bassmaster Classic. I'm not supposed to be here.
I know. Why are you here? Why aren't I doing a show by myself?
You should be doing the show. I was supposed to be in Fort Worth at the Bassmaster Classic. It just didn't work out, or it just didn't work out. I mean, the bottom line is it didn't work out. So I'm not there for the first time in several years. I'm not doing Classic Live TV, and I'm not at the Classic. I've done some other TV and other broadcasts this year so far, but I didn't go over there. It just was going to be too much of a hassle. To be quite honest with you, you're talking about at least a 15-hour drive because the DeSoto Bridge is out in Memphis, and it would have taken me forever to get over there. And I wasn't going to fly in, and I just didn't go. I just didn't go, and it's driving me a little bit goofy right now. Now I'm a little bit nuts, about that hat. But I am distracted a little bit by. And by the way, in the lead right now in the Bassmaster Classic from Auburn, Alabama.
Oh wow.
Steve Kennedy with 22 pounds and 5 ounces in his 5-fish bag right now, which means he's averaging over 4 pounds per fish. He caught a 5-pound, 10-ounce fish at 8:44 this morning. That was his last catch. And Steve's a great guy. He's a little eccentric. He is such a huge Auburn fan that he has a Bass Cat boat, but he has very, very few sponsors. He has nothing. There's no sponsors on his boat. His boat is wrapped. If you look up Steve Kennedy's boat wrap, it's wrapped like an Auburn Tiger. It's just all wrapped in the stripes.
Oh, wow.
And the windshield has the eyes of the tiger on it. You know what I mean? And Steve, these guys get paid mad jack to wear a hat of their sponsor. And some of them, you wear a different hat each day and then a different hat at the weigh-in, and it's like the hat dance. It's like NASCAR. And they get paid, like Corey Johnson's on screen right now, and he's wearing a power pole hat. And he's getting paid a significant amount of money to wear that power pole hat. Steve won't take any money for his hat, for his headwear, because he insists on wearing an Auburn hat. And he fishes all the time with an old, ratty old Auburn hat. He is the biggest Auburn fan. I mean, Grumpy thinks this guy's a huge Auburn fan. I've never seen as bigger Auburn fan. Boat is wrapped in Auburn Tiger. Everything is Auburn Tiger, and he doesn't want to bastardize it by putting any logos on it. I mean, it's just crazy as a professional fisherman. And I asked him, I said, why not? Have you ever talked to Auburn about sponsoring you? I mean, why doesn't Auburn sponsor you? No. He's like, no, I'm good. I'm like, all right. Dude's won like 17 boats over the years, but anyway, so I'm a bit distracted by that.
It was like that boat we saw. That one kid that was out there on Gunnersville that had the Auburn boat wrap. That was nice, though. That was a nice little boat wrap, but I haven't seen Kennedy's yet. I'm going to have to look it up. And
look up Steve Kennedy, and you'll see his. It's really kind of cool. It's not necessarily in Auburn colors. It's like in a two-tone blue, but it's wrapped as a tiger, as an Auburn Tiger. The boat that you saw at that event was actually Auburn, one of Auburn's team boats. Auburn has like 10 team boats, 15 team boats that are Rockford College fishing team, so there's that as well. All right, got lots to get into. Baseball Super Regionals getting started with 6 SEC teams in the Sweet 16. We'll get into that as well. You guys fired up to watch that? I know I am. And I think we overshot the runway here on this deal as far as the 12-team playoff. I think there's a simpler, more fair, more equitable way to do this than what they're doing right now, but we'll see. And they're not done. This is just the initial proposal. They're not done. So we'll see how it all comes out. All right, we'll get a break. When we come back, Allan Bell Jr. is with us, NFL Insider. He's up next right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Tom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This Action Update is brought to you by Keeps. Tired of losing your hair? Get 50% off for your first order at Keeps.com/VSiN. Keeps.com/VSiN.
NBA playoffs, the Sixers and Hawks will play Game 3 in Atlanta. The Sixers a 1-point road favorite. The over-under 224.5. The Suns at the Nuggets in the West. Denver a 1.5-point favorite at home. The over-under 223. The latest odds to go on and win the NBA championship. The Brooklyn Nets still the favorite at +110, followed by the Jazz at +300, the Suns at +700, and the Clippers and Sixers each at +800. Tomorrow, UFC 263, the middleweight title bout. Israel Adesanya -265 against Marvin Vettori at +210, and also the flyweight championship fight. Davison Figueiredo at -230 against Brandon Moreno at +185.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Listen to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton.
What do you say, Jeff?
Well, let me tell you something. When Alabama makes the Final Four and don't clank free throws against UCLA, Herbert Jones, so-called Player of the Year, clankety clank, can't make no free throws. You better be practicing, big boy, because you ain't made no Final Fours yet. Auburn won Final Four, Alabama none.
Listen to The Drive, weekdays starting at 5 p.m. on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline. So I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Back to work at that job? The one you realized isn't for you? Well, that's if you're lucky, right? Make your move. You can start a new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months from the comfort of your own home, even if you have zero computer experience. Take control of your future now. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Live online classes meet just twice a week. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner of University Kia, here letting you know we are proud supporters of Madison Academy football. And a quick shout out to my son, Avery Seaton, number 19. Stop into University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including our all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and the sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com to view all our great offers and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see you in the Kia. Go Mustangs!
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
New
representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed precision overhead garage door service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked the reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision overhead garage door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision overhead garage door service. Call 256-400-4500.
This is Chuck Oliver. Listen to me coming up today at noon. Now back to the Tom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
For me, at the end of the day, I believe in me. I know what I have in the tank. And we're talking about age is 32. Like, I'm young. Like, in football, you can say it's old, but you either do it or you don't. You know, this game don't change for me. I'm still fast and still strong. And to, you know, the games last year, I just, you know, had an issue where I didn't take enough time to heal up properly. But, you know, that was just my decision on going out there and just playing. There's no excuses, things like that. But I'll be ready to go. So for those who questioning my health and things like that, just stay tuned.
Yeah, he does look good in his underwear out there. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And he's going to be – I think he's going to be fine. I think he can be very, very good. I would question a little bit of his take, you know, thinking that the offense would now be unstoppable. But let's get into that and more NFL topics as camps are open all around the country. And joining us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline is Allan Bell Jr. from our NFL insider from 24/7 Sports, also with CBS Sportsline as well. AB, welcome back. How are you, my friend? We haven't talked in a minute.
I know, big dog. I'm doing good, buddy. You doing all right?
I am fine. And, you know, Julio Jones, that's one of the stories. First of all, looks weird in the 2, doesn't he? He looks like Derrick Henry in the 2. He looks weird in the 2. I was surprised. I don't understand why not the 8. Did he ever give an explanation of why the 2?
Yeah, he did. He said that him and A.J. Brown were just kind of playing around with it, and that 2 times 11 equals 22 for Derrick Henry. So I think it was just kind of, you know, just kind of played into it. But, you know, I'll say this. Julio Jones is an absolute professional, and somebody brought this point up yesterday, and it really rings true. You know, you think about last year with Jadeveon Clowney and Vic Beasley signing as free agents coming in, and there were problems with both of them. Julio Jones signs. The guy's there early. He's already out there practicing. I think he already has more practice reps than Isaiah Wilson ever had with the Titans. And the guy's ready to work. So, you know, just respect to him, whether this is successful or not. Respect to Julio Jones because he's an absolute professional and carries himself like one.
There's no doubt about it. He said that he thinks the offense could be unbeatable, unstoppable, because, you know, if you put 9 in the box, then we're going to go to work on the outside. And if you put 8 in the box, then, you know, we're going to run the ball with Derrick Henry. I mean, that's pretty much a standard, you know, operating procedure. My question is, you know, if you step back from 10,000 feet and you look, okay, you're now with Ryan Tannehill instead of Matt Ryan. I don't know that there's a huge, you know, difference there. You know, Matt Ryan is outstanding. Ryan Tannehill's had a couple of great years. I think Matt Ryan's putting together a Hall of Fame type career. Calvin Ridley was on the other side of you. You would have had Kyle Pitts in the slot as a nasty tight end. Hunter Hurst there as well. Of course, they don't have a running back like Derrick Henry. Nobody really does. Offensive lines are probably pretty comparable. Both have some issues. I don't know that his offense this year is any better than his offense has been the last few years with Atlanta. The problem in Atlanta was always defense, and the problem with the Titans is going to be defense unless these additions that they have made are going to really help them out, which could happen.
Yeah, that part's fascinating, right? It's almost kind of 2 mirror teams for him.
Right.
With, you know, exactly what you just laid out. 2 teams that really have no problem scoring on offense, but, you know, defensive issues have been there. You know, the only difference being that, you know, the Titans, at least recently, you know, have had a little bit more success. But, you know, again, yeah, I mean, you know, it kind of goes down to, and the big question, you know, is going to be, you know, there's only one ball to go around, right? Like, how is this all going to work out? And, you know, you've got Julio, you've got AJ, you've got Derrick Henry. You know, what does it do for his carries, right? Do we see, a drop in production, not necessarily production, but, just, handoff, so to say, which could be good. So it's going to be fascinating. And the interesting part for this is, you've got a new OC in Todd Downing, with the Titans. And, with great player comes great responsibility. And, the Titans are going to have to figure out how to make this thing work. I have no doubt that they'll give their best effort to do it. But, yeah, it's fascinating when you add that many, talented players. There really is only, there's only one ball. And, we'll see how it all works out.
Yeah, look, teams that are unbalanced, that have, these. I don't like a 2,000-yard running back. 2,000-yard running back. They talk about that. They never win anything. There's only been one. I think there's been 10 or 11 2,000-yard running backs. There's only been one that won a Super Bowl. That was Terrell Davis for the Broncos. He had John Elway with him. And most of them actually missed the playoffs. You think about the Titans' 2,000-yard running back and Chris Johnson. That was a 7-9 team that year. And they just the next year, I'm going to get 2,500 yards. No, you're not. You're much better off with a 1,600-yard rusher and a 3,700-yard, 3,800-yard passer. You need balance, it seems like, to win in this league. And I think that's what everybody understands. Julio Jones, let me tell you something. If Julio Jones has 120 catches and 1,400 yards or something like that, they probably are in trouble. It may be much better off if he is around 1,000 yards and AJ is around 1,000 yards and Derrick Henry's around 1,300 or 1,400 yards. Then they're probably a defense or an offense that you can't defend.
Yep, you're exactly right. And I think two teams that kind of, the Titans should try to mirror, in those respects are the Kansas City Chiefs and the Pittsburgh Steelers, of the last, say 8, 9, 10 years, right? To where you have so many star players, but you want to average and balance that thing out. So I think that you're exactly right. And, if you look, and just like you said, if A.J. Brown has 85 catches this year and Julio Jones has 85 catches, both go for 1,000, 1,100 type yards. Derrick Henry is at, 1,500 yards, so to say. Like that's where, your success is probably going to lie. But again, it's going to come down to the defense. I think that, this Titans team was, pretty good before the Julio Jones trade. Obviously, he makes them better. But, again, I think you nailed it right there. Look at the defense last year. It was arguably the worst third down defense in the history of the NFL. It was that bad. And now you've got a new defensive coordinator, in Shane Bowen, who's just been named. You've got a new offensive coordinator in Todd Downing because Arthur Smith left and went to the Falcons. So there's a lot of change. This is, you're still a Mike Vrabel-led Titans team, but, when you're changing two coordinators, that's a big deal.
It is a big deal. And Allan Bell Jr. with us from 24/7 Sports. It is a big deal. There's no doubt about it. The interesting thing is you talked about that defense last year. Mike Vrabel, his 1 year as a defensive coordinator of the Houston Texans, they were not very good defensively that year, and Vrabel, obviously a defensive guy. It'll be interesting to see, what happens when he adds this defensive coordinator and if something changes when that happens. The big national story, obviously, is Aaron Rodgers and his absence from Green Bay. And it seems like the narrative is that everybody is pro Aaron Rodgers, Packer fans pro Aaron Rodgers and against management here. And I don't know if that's the case 100%. I think at some particular point in time that worm would start to turn, and it's like, you know what? All right, we understand. We understand that you're upset or whatever, that you want this and you want. We understand. We also understand you're 1-4 in the NFC Championship game. Get back in there, because now they're on the field and you're not with your team. And at what point in time is the point of no return? Look, Packers are my second favorite team. I'm fed up with this. I'm to the mindset, get your ass out there. What do you think happens here with this Aaron Rodgers situation in terms of, the fans turning and saying, all right, Jordan Love, let's go, baby.
Yeah, you're right. So first, the attitude will turn as we get closer to the season. You get to training camp, and if he's still not there, it'll turn quickly. It absolutely will. Now, the big question is this: it's not on the Packers. The question is, does Aaron Rodgers want to play? The Green Bay Packers have been as consistent as anything, as, you know, banks being closed on Sunday, that they have no interest in trading him whatsoever. If they did, they would have done it to San Francisco on the first day of the NFL draft, because the 49ers were offering up the farm for him. And they didn't even hesitate. They didn't even think about it. So it all comes down to, does Aaron Rodgers want to play? If he wants to play, he's going to be a Green Bay Packer. If he doesn't want to play, well, go do something else. But you know what? If you want to come back, you're still going to be a Green Bay Packer, because there is no leverage, you know, in terms of his contract and the collective bargaining agreement. So the question all comes down to Aaron Rodgers, you know, and he knows it. He's not a dumb guy. He's hard-headed, for sure. You know, we've seen all the things, you know, that's been going on with him off the field. You know, but he knows it, and he's going to have to make a decision, and he doesn't have to right now. He can kind of, you know, let this thing play out and go on vacation to Hawaii, kind of do whatever he wants. But there's going to be a point where he has to make a decision, and he knows that. And if I had to put my money down, he's playing for the Green Bay Packers this year, because he knows he's very, very good, and his career is not done, and legitimately he had his best season last year. So, yeah, I think that he does. But, yeah, the decision is all on him. The Packers have made their decision. They're not trading at all.
Well, I wonder how the fans, you know, how they'll react to him if he's like, okay, begrudgingly kicking and screaming is going to be the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. That's not what Packer fan is as proud as the Packer organization is. They're going to be like, you know, he throws his first interception. If it comes and he's, you know, 3 for 5 and throws a pick in the first game, that's going to start booing a little bit. Like, you know what? Where were you this summer? You don't want to be with us? You don't want to be here? You're a California guy and all this other kind of stuff. And I could see him losing the public support. He was the darling when they drafted Jordan Love and didn't take a wide receiver. Everybody was like, oh, man, I can't believe he did this to Aaron Rodgers. But I'm telling you, that worm will turn now to it being like, you know, what's up, man? You don't even want to try? You don't even want to hang out with us? You don't want to be here? You don't like cheeseheads? I mean, what's the deal? and if Jordan Love starts doing anything, you know, look, let's see if Aaron Rodgers can get $30 million a year to be the host of Jeopardy. I don't think so.
Yeah, agreed. And I mean, Aaron knows that, right? Like, you know, he can put that Jeopardy thing out there. He's not going to be, you know, he's not leaving the NFL to go be the host of Jeopardy. And if he does, it's a dumb decision. Because not only...
Unless he doesn't want to play anymore. If he's saying, I don't want to play anymore, okay, fine. Do the, you know, retire, you know, relatively early. He's 36 years old. If you want to retire, retire.
Absolutely, yeah. If you want to, do it, you know. But you know, if he goes out begrudgingly, you know, then he's taking shots at the franchise, you know, it's not going to go well. And I'm with you, you know, because we've all known this, you know, whether it's the NFL, whether it's college football, whatever, you know, fans' loyalty lies with the team and with the brand, right? And don't be wrong, players of the team love Aaron Rodgers. You know, he's going to the Hall of Fame, but still, you know, the Packers continue on even after him. You know, the Packers continued on after Brett Favre, right? So, yeah, I mean, it's absolutely going to turn. And look, Aaron knows this. Not a dumb guy. He knows that he has no leverage whatsoever, and he will have to make a decision. And I think that he comes back. But, you know, again, this is a hard-headed guy, man. You know, he has no problem really associated with his family, as the reports would say. There's no telling what this guy could do.
Allan Bell Jr. with us here. The other guy that was rumored to want out was Russell Wilson, and all of a sudden he's like, no, man, I never asked for no trade. You know, there was an issue there or something that was bugging him, but he is saying all the right things with Seattle, and it seems like he seems to be a happy camper at this point.
Yeah, it does. And, you know, I think that it was, you know, somewhat similar, you know, to the Aaron Rodgers situation. However, you know, Russ didn't take it that far. You know, I think that anything going on in that organization, you know, you've got, you know, guys like Schneider and Carroll, you know, who are in charge of that franchise that understand. And, you know, kudos to them as well for probably looking at the Aaron Rodgers Packers situation and saying, okay, look, let's not let this get out of hand. Russ, we'll meet you 50-50, right? Like, you're a very important part of what we're trying to do. How can we make you happy? Let's work towards doing it. And that's how these things need to go. You know, again, I don't put all the blame on Aaron Rodgers. Some of the things that he's saying are correct. I agree with that. But, you know, just kudos to the Seahawks for saying, look, let's not let things get out of hand. We all want what's best for everybody involved. Russ, how can we make you happy? And it appears that they've done so.
Yeah, it does seem like they've done it. In New Orleans, Jameis Winston, I mean, they're just look, there's no way they were thinking that Taysom Hill is going to be their quarterback, right? I would think that Jameis Winston, I mean, this is his job to lose. He goes in there. He's got a great attitude, basically a year off from being a starter. Played well when he was in there last year at times when he had the opportunity. And this is a seminal moment, it seems like, for him. And it seems like Vegas isn't exactly jumping off the Saints bandwagon 100%. With him being the being the quarterback, I think they feel like that he can go in there and win games.
Yeah, he can. I mean, Jameis Winston has the tools to be a very good quarterback. His only problem, the turnovers. If he could cut those in half, I mean, the guy can swing the ball. He could put up numbers. That wasn't a problem. It was just a turnover factor. So, if a guy like Sean Payton, the opportunity to do that. Cut down on those turnovers, use Taysom Hill, where he can, because obviously we know that he's going to do that, and that's fun. I mean, that's a nice little wrinkle. But Taysom Hill's not going to be your starting quarterback. We saw that last year. The guy is not, he cannot throw it 40 times a game. He's just not that. Jameis Winston is a 10 times better quarterback than he is. But as for, your Vegas comment, yeah, you're right. And what that goes back to, and again, not a lot of people give credit to it. The Saints have a tremendous defense. We always think offense, with the Saints, and rightfully so. But their defense is incredible. It is one of the best in the NFL. Has been the last couple of years. So yeah, I mean that's why. If they could go in and just, kind of just level the ship, and put some points up, like that defense is going to keep them in every game down there. So yeah, I mean the Saints are going to be fun, but I'm excited to see how they go about the distribution. Because, it's tough you can't run two quarterbacks 50-50. Like, that's been proven forever that it does not work. They're going to have to make a decision one way or the other.
No doubt about it. Allan Bell Jr. has been our guest from 24/7 Sports. AB, I appreciate you so much, man. Have a great weekend, and we'll look forward to chatting again.
Hey, you too, big dog. Thanks so much for having me, buddy.
Let's get a break in here. When we come back, a lot of military guys in town. We have had a history at this radio station with Army football back in the day. We got a lot of listeners that work out on the base and that are service guys, past service guys, current service guys. And I'd like to know your opinion about the issue of players that go to Army and Navy, Air Force, go to the academies, that then develop into good enough football players to have a shot at the NFL. The latest one is this Cameron Kinley, and it's like kind of weird. Some guys, they let them out of their obligation, or they delay their obligation until after their whatever NFL career they have is over, and then they can go and serve their 5 years, whatever it is that they have to do. Other guys, they won't allow them to. And Cameron Kinley, this Navy defensive back, he has been told that, no, you will serve your commission now. You're not going to go and play in the NFL or try and play in the NFL. He is signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He went to minicamp with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but they told him he has to report for his commission. Is that right or wrong? Do you think once a guy makes a commitment to the military academy that he should have to serve his commission, or should our military academies be more forgiving in terms of letting these guys go and try and play in the league? I'd love to hear from somebody that has experience with that kind of stuff. It's the Tom Abraham Show. Back with more after this. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Tom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now. and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
We love our pets, and when we need boarding or vet services, we want the best. That's why we chose Paradise Pet Resort and Spa. Everything our pets needed, all in one place. Boarding for both dogs and cats. Doggy daycare, grooming and spa services, web cameras, and top-notch vet care, too. It's a true Paradise Pet Resort for your furry friends, serving all of North Alabama. Find out everything you need to know and book services online at ParadisePetResortAndSpa.com. Located in Madison, just off 565 at Wall Triana, behind Cracker Barrel.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Ann Adams. Ann, I understand you have some exciting news.
Yes, Wes, I do. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services was just recognized in the 30th Annual Harris Poll Equitrin as the Real Estate Agency Brand of the Year and the most trusted real estate brand.
That is awesome news, Ann. Great companies in Huntsville, Alabama, winning awards is what we want. Is it a great time to list your home?
Yes, it is. The inventory is low and the market is heating up.
And I understand you're also looking for agents.
I am. We are so busy, Wes, we need agents to keep up with the demand.
Ann Adams and Rise Real Estate has been doing business in North Alabama for the last 35 years. If you want to do business with someone you can trust, she has been writing contracts since she was 9 years old. Call Ann today at 256-337-2625.
I love overpriced stuff. Avocados, designer t-shirts, artisanal water, you name it. That's why I get my internet from the other guys. Paying more for the same stuff. What could be better?
Wow is better, because for just $19.99 a month, we give you the super fast, reliable internet you need and the awesome customer service you deserve. Act now for our best deal of the year. Internet 100 for just $19.99 a month at Huawei.com. Limited to new customers with auto pay and paperless billing. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Offer subject to change. Restrictions and terms apply.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop too. Don't forget our parts department. So if you happen to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
From the WZDX Pinpoint Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Another mostly cloudy sky with limited sunshine this afternoon across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid-80s. Just like the last several days, scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible through the heart of the afternoon, early into the evening, but that activity should taper off as we head into the overnight early Saturday morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
256-576-4977.
Hold it, hold it!
That's 256-576-4977.
somewhere between heaven and the tall pine trees. Hard land, I'm missing you. Guitar playing through the night, it felt pretty good.
Welcome back, Tom Abraham Show.
Good as one for the price of two.
I'm trying to find. I mean, you were in this business, right? I mean, you were in this alarm type business and stuff. So during the talking ball, it was right at like 10:20 or something like that. The alarms went off again here at the home studio, and the whole house went off, Grizz. And so here's the deal: when it happened the other day, I went and I took all of these down, and you could see they're faded, kind of old.
Yeah.
A
little bit.
Batteries were old. So I took them all down. I got some air, and I blew out the internal thing there, and then I put new batteries in all of them. I put them all back up, and they were silent. Everything was cool. Then at 10:20 this morning, no, not at 10:20, at whatever time it was at 8:20. At 8:20 this morning, all hell broke loose, and the house wasn't burning down. But everything took off, so and went nuts. Now, on the back, it says replace in 10 years. Right? So this is a 10-year deal. It says weekly testing is requiring. What am I, a draft? How the hell am I going to do weekly testing? They're 15 feet in the air over here at this house. So it says replace in 10 years, and then the date on there is December 10th, 2005.
Yeah, it's
more
6 years late.
I was 6 years behind. This is when I bought the house, interestingly enough. Maybe that's why the guy sold the house. He's like, the hell with that. I'm not going to change the smoke detectors. I'll just sell the house.
Yeah, no, we used to be able to do this thing where, like, when we worked in the business, they had this, like, little, like, contraption where you put, like, a can of, like, smoke, basically, in this little contraption, and you put it up against the fire detector, and you pushed it. Yeah, and it pushed it, and it would spray a little bit of air in the detector, and it would go off. And it was clean air, so it would go off, but it would go off for a second. You could test it, and then you could go back to spraying regular, like a can of air back into it, and then it was fine. It was actually pretty cool.
Well, they're not.
But they're not fun to play with. Install. That's
so. I put in this model number, and I'm not getting. I don't think I'm getting the exact same one here when I put in this model. And you can buy them in like 4-packs, and they're cheap. I mean, for all intents and purposes, $44 for a 4-pack, something like that. So I'd buy a couple of 4-packs and put these up. My issue is, you see the little thing? See, those of you that aren't watching the show, you need to watch the show. See the plug in the back there?
Yeah.
Where the plug is?
Yeah.
All right, so that little 3-prong plug deal, they all have the 3-prong plug deal, but this one has that little deal where it's like stacked, and it's like in a pyramid type position, and that's different than all of the plugs here. So I want to just plug and play. I want to buy them, put them in, and push them in there. But I can't see the back of these, and I tried to buy one that was a replacement one, and it didn't fit in the back. And what I don't want to do is climb up on the ladder 15 feet in the air and have to cut all the wires and have to rewire all of these things. Because you know what will happen? It'll start a fire. In the fire detector, we'll start a fire.
That's what
I have
stinks.
to do the rewiring.
That's what stinks about those kind of things, is because, like, especially if they're daisy chain, you have to find the fault. So if there's a fault somewhere in there, you don't know where it is, and one of them could go off. Or what it is you want it to run like the whole time, and whatever one that probably isn't going off, that's probably your problem right there.
Daisy chain. That's what it is, and I don't know which one. It says that whichever one is creating a fault should be blinking red.
Yeah.
Nothing was blinking red. They were all
yes.
flipping me off is what they were doing.
Yep.
They were all flipping me off, and I had to go and so I had to take them all down. It's about 8 of them, running around with the big ladder. And literally, I mean, I got 13-foot ceiling, so I mean, it's not a thing.
Could be a low battery as well on your alarm system, so check that out as well.
Yeah, I don't think it was. All right, let's go break. When we come back, David Moulton from the SEC on CBS will join us. We'll talk college football playoff expansion. One of the smartest guys I know. He's next, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan@danaldridgelaw.com. Dan@danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Hey, this is Justin with the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. We'd like to invite you to North Alabama's premier patio bar and grill, where at the factory, we have something going on each and every night. Monday night, steak night. Tuesday night, karaoke. Wednesday night, the Jeep community comes out for Jeep Jam. Thursday, it's bike night, the biggest in the valley. Friday and Saturday, live concerts on our 4,000 square foot patio, along with drink specials and a beautiful staff. What are you waiting on? We will see you at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill.
Your home of the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
It's kicked. Waddle from the 1 to the 5, cuts left of the 10, stays left of the 15, up the middle 20. He'll cut to the outside 25-30. He gets outside the contain, down the left sideline. 20, 10, 5, touchdown Alabama! 99 yards on the kickoff return by one of America's most impressive kick and punt returners, Jalen Waddle. Touchdown Alabama! Here's a 3rd and 10 from the 45. Dropping back Abraham. Dropping down Abraham. Covered up by 3 guys, Abraham. And that's the 2nd sack of the day.
Every touchdown from the Crimson Tide Sports Network. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Listen to Talkin' Ball.
David Shaw, no, because guess what? Lately he's been getting, his head caved in. So, of course, he's going to complain about it. The gist of his comments at the NFL draft a couple years ago pissed me off because he basically talked about how the SEC puts too much importance on football. Oh, well, damn. We want to win.
Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings starting at 7 on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
In Atlanta tonight, the series tied at 1. Our coverage starts at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and TV. The TV side also has Game 3 for the Suns and Nuggets in Denver. Phoenix up 2-0 in that series. A year late thanks to the pandemic, UEFA Euro 2020 kicks off today in Rome with Italy hosting Turkey. 3 Eastern on ESPN. Every match of the tournament is on the family of networks. At the French Open semis today, Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic for the 58th time. Nadal is the 13-time French
Whether your
champ.
best means being the best bingo player in the office or the best volleyball player on the planet, you're going to need some help. Almonds are your snack to keep your head in the game and your body energized. So refuel with almonds. California almonds. Own your everyday, every day.
We cover all the SEC schools, including Western Union and Venmo.
I want that money!
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Tom Abraham, is here with you. Hey, I see you, dog. So settle in and get your bark on. That's my dog! Now live, here he is, the big dog. Let's go, baby! Tom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Tom Abraham Show. This segment of the show is brought to you by our fine friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Service second to none is at Woody Anderson Ford. And look, it doesn't have to be a Ford to get serviced at Woody Anderson Ford, but when you get down there and you see all those beautiful rigs, you're going to say, yeah, maybe I need to jump into a Ford, and you're going to want to do it. Make your appointment for Woody Anderson Ford today. All right, hour number 2 of the show, and joining me now, by the way, those of you that are watching the show on the Twitch or YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, wherever it is that you're watching it, and you see David Moulton's smiling face up there, that's a dated picture. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's a dated picture on David Moulton. He lost about 40 or 50 pounds. Unfortunately, he had to have cancer to lose it, but he whooped the cancer and lost a bunch of weight. So we need to get like an updated picture of Moulton if we're going to put that up there. He's one of the smartest guys I know in this business, and I felt like he would be a good guy to talk about this expansion of the college football playoff with. And he joins us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. David, welcome back. How are you?
Tom, I'm good. I have to admit I'm working very hard to make that picture seem up to date.
You're trying to find that weight you lost? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And Tom, I can find lost weight. I'm good at it.
Yeah, we all do. We all do. I've gained and lost a football team worth of weight, I think. Up and down we go. But that's a whole nother issue. All right. First of all, any doubt in your mind that this 12-team thing is going through, whether it's going to be exactly in this format or not, do you feel like this is where we're going with the 12 teams?
Yeah, I can't imagine, quite frankly, that Greg Sankey wants the future of college football to look a certain way, and it's not going to look that way. I mean, is there a bigger power broker in college football right now than Greg Sankey? And they're smart to put him on the committee because the SEC/Big Ten is going to have to sign off on whatever it's going to look like going forward. If you remember the last time we had major change, who was the big power broker in college football at the time? It was
Mike
Jim Delaney.
Slive. Yeah. Well, Slive and Delaney.
Jim Delaney.
Yeah.
It was Jim Delaney. And when Alabama and LSU got the rematch, it was Jim Delaney who rounded up the horses and flew into New Orleans and said to Commissioner Slive, Mike, we got to talk. This ain't working for the rest of the sport. Congratulations, it's working for you. It ain't working for the rest of us. And now Mike Slive rose to be on at least equal footing with Jim Delaney, but at the time, Jim Delaney was the power broker. Greg Sankey's the power in college football right now. And so I can't imagine that they're not going to go forward with at least 98% of this.
There's 6 SEC teams in the 16-team field of super regionals in baseball. What are they going to do when, half of the 8 teams that get through the first round of the football playoffs are SEC teams, and God forbid they get 3 SEC teams in the Final Four? What are they going to do then?
Well, Tom, at this point, the rest can't complain. I mean, I'm sure Greg Sankey, when he was sitting there talking with the others, was like, now, hey, take a look. There's a year here recently where we would have had 5 of the 12.
Yeah.
All right. When this happens, you guys can't complain. You wanted the sport opened up. We opened it up. We're allowing a G5 in every year, at least one. And you can't come yell at us, okay? We're giving you what you want. Now, if we continue to do what we do, you guys are just going to have to deal with it.
I think in 2015, only Alabama would have made it. So, I mean 2016. In 2016, only Alabama made it, and I believe that under this system that's being proposed, if you go back to the start of the college football playoff and reconstruct it under this 12-team deal, I think I read somewhere that the Big Ten actually got one more team in total than the SEC would, because there is as much a, in a way, I think there's as much a Big Ten bias as there is an SEC bias. I mean, you would see, you would see possibly a Penn State, Ohio, that year, 2016, you would have had Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, and Wisconsin all in the playoff.
Well, and remember, the Big Ten ran big-time college football into the middle of the 2000s when Nick Saban took over as Alabama head football coach. The Big Ten was the power broker in the sport. Remember, it was such an uproar that the committee voted Florida the number 2 team in 2006 over Michigan.
Yeah, right.
And Auburn, the undefeated 0-14, didn't garner any serious consideration. LSU had to split the title in 2003. I mean, the SEC was the one knocking on the door in the mid-2000s going, hey, guys, we play pretty good football here. Hello? Mm-hmm. And it was only because they gave Florida the shot and they beat Ohio State. And then things fell right the next year, and LSU snuck in the game and won, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, maybe the power of this sport's in the SEC. So it was just less than a generation ago that the SEC was actually kind of like the ACC in the Big 12 now, jumping up and down going, hey, guys, we can play a little bit.
There are two things that are sticking in my craw that I thought, at least one of them I thought was an automatic, and that was automatic qualifiers for the Power 5 conference champions. Now, I don't think that this would happen. I think that Pac-12 is distorted last year by the fact that they didn't play any games. But once Oregon beat USC and knocked USC out of the top 12 in the Pac-12 championship game and slipped into the rankings at number 25, according to what I'm reading from various people, because there is no automatic qualifier for the Power 5 conferences, that means that both Coastal Carolina, the Sun Belt champion, and Cincinnati, the American champion, would have gone along with the other 4 major college champions. It seems to be that if we go that route, David, what the hell's the point of the Power 5? What's a Power 5 anymore if all the conferences were just going to take the top six conference champions regardless of what kind of schedule they play? Because, let's be honest, if Oregon or USC played Coastal Carolina's Sun Belt schedule, they'd have been undefeated too. And that's where I'm getting a little sideways here on this Group of 5 thing.
See, Tom, I'm completely on the other side of this. I would look at the Pac-12 last year and go, so let me get this straight. Your champion couldn't be better than the Sun Belt champion? Sorry, you stay home.
Well, how are they not better than the Sun Belt champion? That's what I'm saying.
Well, first off, I'll be honest with you. I watched last year. I don't know that Oregon beats Coastal Carolina.
Oh, come on.
I'm serious
really?
about that. No. Yes, really. Yes, really. They were not that good. Pac-12 was not that good last year.
You don't think USC, 5-1 USC, would have beaten Coastal Carolina?
They lost. See, that's the other thing that happens here. What does this now do? This makes the conference championship games kind of important, because if USC had won that, then yes, they would have been in and Coastal Carolina would have been out. But since they lost, oh well, you had your shot.
Yeah, but it's not an even playing field. You can't compare. You can't compare.
Tom, it's never been an even playing field.
That's true.
It's never going to be an even playing field. It's the charm of college sports. You just have to.
Well, there's a misnomer that we're going to get
no such thing as fair.
Yeah, there's a misnomer that we're going to get the best 12 in there, because look, I'll hit to the heart of the issue here. In 2019, Alabama and Auburn miss in 2019. If you lose the 2019 numbers, after Auburn beat Alabama in the Iron Bowl and Auburn was 9-3 and Alabama was 10-2, Auburn and Alabama would have missed under that playoff system. And I went through and I looked at the teams that would have been in, and I'm here to tell you that Alabama or Auburn would have been a favorite against 6 of the 12 teams that were in that final, that would have been in the final.
Tom, okay, but this new system would have given the 2019 Alabama and Auburn a chance to get in the playoff. They had no shot in the old system.
Oh, no doubt.
So what are you complaining about?
Yeah, no doubt about that.
I'm sorry. This gives everyone more chances to get in the playoff. we can go all the way back to the 2010 Alabama team. The only one here that Nick's had in the last 14 years that's lost, what, more than one regular season game?
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, 2019 lost two. They lost two in 2019.
Okay. Yeah. But in the 2010 team, trying to defend the national championship, it was a really good team. They lost 3 tough games that year. 3 tough games to ranked teams, including, the comeback. All right. Who knows? That Bama team might have still made the playoff with 3 losses in 2010 because it was a really good team. Tom,
where did they?
The power schools and power programs and conferences still have all the advantages. This is just trying to give more teams more of a chance, pump more oxygen, and oh, by the way, a lot more money into the sport, which is really what this is all about.
That 9-3 team in 2012, after the 9-3, after the comeback game, they were ranked 16th. So no, I don't know. I don't think they would have gotten in. I don't think they would have made it. Remember, Auburn was number 1. Remember that? You're right. Auburn was number 1 there, and of course they went on. And Oregon was number 2. TCU was number 3. Welcome back from the Witness Protection Program. Stanford was number 4. That was an interesting year. Now here's another rub. If we're going to do this, and we're going to say these conference champions are all considered, there's 6 spots reserved for the highest-ranking conference champions. I believe that we got to come correct with the Big 12 and, to an extent, the Pac-12. Enough with the 10 teams and the 12 teams. Because to me, I would listen, David. I would make the American, I would call the American a Power 6 conference. I think the American, pick up 2 more teams. I would get everybody to 14. They are.
Well, Tom, basically, after yesterday, they are.
Yeah.
I mean, they're clearly the leader in the clubhouse for the 6th spot every year. I mean, every year. Come on. The American right now looks around and goes, so let me get this straight. We have to be better than the Mountain West champion, the Conference USA champion, the MAC champion, and the Sun Belt champion?
Yeah.
And if we do that, we're guaranteed a team in the playoff?
Yeah, they're in.
I'm in.
Yeah, they're in. Whether or not they get that first-round bye is another thing, but they're going to be in the deal. But is it fair? Is it fair? I know none of this is fair. It's just because it's college football. It's not the NFL. But is it fair that the teams in the Big 12 basically get a 10% chance of winning their conference, where everybody else is beating each other's brains in with 14 teams?
Well. Is it fair that the SEC's media rights deal pays out what it pays out? I mean, Tom, there's the haves and the have-nots even amongst the Power 5. And believe me, when it comes to polls and comes to what we think of certain programs, we downgrade them because of the conference that they're in. If I'm the SEC and the Big 10, I want the Big 12 to remain 10 teams because I want to be able to argue that our 3rd team deserves a spot over their 2nd team. I like my chances in that argument every year.
The Tom plan, which nobody wants to listen to, but the Tom plan would be 6 14-team conferences. Get everybody to 14. Call it the Power 6, whatever you want. And give me the champions. That's a de facto playoff game. Now every conference championship game is a playoff game, so that's a de facto 12-team deal right there. And then give me 2 wild cards to get to 8. And those 2 wild cards, that cleans up the miracle team out of the Sun Belt that happened to run the table and actually beat somebody that was a Power 5 team. And it cleans up a big upset. Northwestern beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game, but Ohio State's 11-1 or 12-1. That cleans up those kind of things that would happen. To me, that would be the most equitable way to do this and take it out of the hands of all of these selectors and have the selectors just select the 2 at-large teams.
Well, Tom, if we've seen anything with this formula, is that, apparently preserving as much of the bowl system as possible is still really important to the power brokers in the sport. And the rest of us don't give a damn about them. The rest of us don't understand why seeds 1, 2, 3, and 4 aren't hosting quarterfinal games. But apparently it's much more important that these games be held in New Orleans, Miami, Pasadena, Phoenix, and Dallas than on campus. That's apparently far more important. And the other thing is that this sport, going back to the beginning of time, still wants to have the human polling element to it. And it's been that way forever. It's benefits some schools some year. I mean, Alabama can't complain. And they got a few national titles that they claim that the rest of the college football world goes, seriously? Okay? So it benefits you sometimes. You get screwed sometimes. Hey, you signed up for this. It's big-time college football. It's been this way forever.
David Moulton with us here talking about this proposal for the 12-team playoff. By and large, I'm for it. I mean, I'm all for more good games, and I think this is the reason that we're...
Can I ask you one question?
Yeah.
One question.
Yeah.
You've been doing this how long? 30 years?
23 years now.
Okay. Has the NCAA/major college football world ever produced an idea that had more going for it than this one yesterday? Of all the changes that they've ever tried to enact, have they ever gotten more right than they did yesterday? I would argue no.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I was stunned that it didn't include Power 5 automatics. That was like, what the hell are you talking about? I was stunned that those guys would be in that room and they wouldn't say, look, there's being a... I don't even know I don't think there is a Power 5 anymore. I think they've done away with Power 5. If you say that you win the Pac-12, the Big Ten, whatever, you're not automatically into the playoff, then what's a Power 5? What does that even mean anymore? You know what I mean?
It's certainly a Power 6. I mean, you have to assume now at the beginning of every year that the Power 5 and the AAC champion are going to be in the playoff. It will take a significant...
They wouldn't have been last year. That's what I said. The Pac-12 wouldn't have been in.
But, Tom, you have to allow for that in a sport. I'm sorry. The Pac-12 sucked last year. Your champion was 500. It doesn't deserve a spot in the playoff. College football has always been about that. Sorry. You had your chance.
So Coastal Carolina plays
on a great season.
Coastal Carolina plays a Conference USA schedule that they ripped through. Half of the three-quarters of the SEC would have gone undefeated against their schedule too, and they automatically get a seat at the table because they went 11-0 in a popcorn conference.
Admit, Tom, why do you care so much about that Coastal Carolina gets their small bite at the apple, but a really mediocre Power 5 team doesn't? They have every advantage in the sport. Does that Power 5
right, what if a mediocre team, but what if they're...
For God's sakes, it's Oregon. It's funded by Nike. And all they could do is 500? Give me a break.
4-2. They weren't 3-3. They were 4-2, for God's sakes. I mean, come on.
They were not good.
They
weren't.
But I bet they would have beaten Coastal. I'm just saying.
Coastal Carolina, I'll tell you what, you keep making the Oregon versus Coastal argument. Coastal Carolina beat BYU. Oregon ain't beaten BYU last year. I'll take BYU straight up right now.
All right, here's that's
a school, by the way, that may raise their hand and go, hey, anybody want us for a conference? Like you're talking that the Big 12 may need to add schools. Wouldn't surprise me if Boise and BYU raise their hands now and go, hey.
I'd like to see Boise and BYU in the Pac-12 to get them to 14. And then I would like to see, somehow 4 teams getting into the Big 12 to get them to 14. I'd like to see Coastal jump into the American, to be honest with you. And I might see something like that along those lines. But we'll see. We'll see whether or not there was a one-off or not with those guys. David Moulton with us. All right, here's the other thing that I can't find any answers to. Money is huge. Money is still money, right? And part of the conferences, however many teams get in the playoff and all that stuff, they share the revenue. Everything's shared revenue. 4 teams are going to host, so your reward for being the 1, 2, 3, 4 is that you get a bye, which is huge. There's no doubt about it competitively on the field. But 5, 6, 7, 8 are going to make a crap load of money by hosting another game on campus, which is a $3 to $4 million net profit for that team. Maybe more if it's a playoff game. I don't even know. have you seen or heard anything? Is that money going into a pot that is getting distributed amongst all the playoff teams, or do those four teams get to keep that money?
Yeah, my understanding is that's a congratulations cash windfall for all of you. Like last year, who would it have been? Cincinnati, Texas A&M, Florida, and Oklahoma, I think.
They probably have to share something with the visiting team, maybe. No, not even with the visiting.
Okay, cover travel expenses. Or something.
Right.
But no, my understanding is that that's a nice little cash windfall for those schools. Now, I don't know if those schools then have to share it within their conference, but I don't think so.
I think they would
a little cash windfall.
Yeah, that would. I would thought that they would.
Well, were you surprised though that they then didn't give home games to seeds 1 through 4? I was.
Well, I thought that they needed to preserve some sort of sanctity of bowl games, and I think those 4 bowl games that'll be played amongst those 8 teams, which will be played New Year's weekend, which by the way now pushes the championship game back another week, right? Because now the following week, we're looking at mid. January, and a lot of people want to see them get off on Monday night. But what are you going to do? You're going to go up against the NFL playoffs on Saturday or Sunday?
Well, I think if you're going to go up, if you're going to move it from Monday night, the only other night from a television standpoint to move it to is Thursday. And I don't think the host cities will want that they envision people coming in Saturday, staying 2-3 days, as opposed to having it on Thursday. They don't know how many people would travel. It's more expensive to travel in the middle of the week, et cetera. But from a television standpoint, remember, the 4-letter network controls the sport right now. Their big thing is Monday Night Football. So they would love to put the biggest college games also as an extension of Monday Night Football. But if somebody else gets their hand on some of these games, they may move it around.
Yeah, well, because they're also talking about an early playoff game, with the expanded playoffs in the NFL being on Monday night. That they're going to get a Monday night playoff game, which in the NFL, which is going to kind of gum things up if we're stretching this out too long. I thought that they were going to get the quarterfinal games in before Christmas. I thought that was the plan, that they were going to play the 15th or so of December for the first round games, and then the 8 would go on right before Christmas, and then we were going to have semifinal games on the first January 1st, and we'd get the national championship game in its normal spot. I didn't realize all 4 of the quarterfinal games are going to be January 1st or 2nd, right around there. That was kind of interesting to me. But yeah, you could make a case that there are going to be a lot of years where you would almost rather be the 5 than the 4, because you're going to play a neutral site game after that anyway. And, being the 5 seed, maybe you want to avoid the 1, but they're doing a bracket. They're not reseeding. I wish they would reseed. But, being the 5 and playing at home.
Remember, it's college. What's the one thing that is as big or bigger than the college football playoff?
The brackets.
Brackets, exactly. Yeah. And they don't reseed in the college hoops tournament, so you would figure in college football they wouldn't reseed. What's part of the beauty of the tournament? When a little part of the bracket goes to what. And so they're allowing for that to happen in football as well, which I think is smart.
Yeah.
You seem to only want the really elite. You apparently, I never realized this about you.
Yeah.
You must pick all 1 seeds to make the Final 4 in your college basketball.
I don't stray too far.
I'm like the really terrific schools. Yeah. Everybody else, I have no interest in you.
I don't stray far. I'll go to a 3, maybe a 4 once in a while.
Wow.
Mostly, I usually get 2 1s. I'll go 2 1s, a 2, and a 4. I'm not jerking around. I got to win the thing. You know what I mean? I got to play around it to get all risky. And look, let's be honest. We're not going to see Cinderella's. The dirty little secret.
No.
North Dakota State, right? I mean, this is Grand Valley State always wins the Division 3. North Dakota State always wins the 1AA. Just because we have an expanded playoff field, if anybody thinks that Alabama, Clemson, Georgia, Ohio State, Notre Dame are not going to dominate the Final 4, they're out of their friggin' minds, right? If it's the same people are going to win.
Absolutely. It's going to be 3 of the Final 4 every year are going to be the same schools.
Yeah.
But it will inject some oxygen in the sport. You will have a Cincinnati, a Coastal Carolina win a first-round game. That's good for the sport. It's good for their conferences. It's good for their programs and others that think they're in the same area code. Yeah, they get now. It's same as the NCAA tournament. Abilene Christian beat Texas. Got beat in the next round. Everybody forgot about them. It's really good for Abilene Christian, though. It's good for their conference.
Do you think they'll do? They say that there's not going to be any seeding shenanigans to keep teams away from rematches of conference championship games and things like that in the first round or second round. But don't you think they're gonna they'll run this? They'll run the scenario 16 times from Sunday to make sure that we don't have 3 teams playing from the SEC in the Final Four, something like that. They're going to try and at least work it out that way, I would think.
Yes, I would think they would try to make sure rematches don't happen super early, but yet at the same time, much like the NCAA tournament, always likes the little political and off-the-court angles, subplots, matchups, and all of a sudden you find, oh, wow, Kentucky and Louisville are in the same region, and they could play one another. Imagine that. I think the same thing's going to happen in college football, too, where if there's an off-the-field subplot, look at that, they're in the same bracket. Interesting.
Does the threat of never having a bye in the playoff, does that at all move the needle towards Notre Dame considering, maybe it's time for us to be in a conference? Or do they say, screw it, man, we'll be the 5 every year, we don't care. We'll make another $3 million.
Exactly. I think Jack Swarbrick, who I believe was on the committee, is like, I can live with a home game. I mean, we ain't winning national titles as it is now, but we're doing this for money anyway. I'll take another $5 million.
Yeah, NBC's all over it, right? I mean, NBC's loving it. I wonder if NBC gets that game. I wonder if that'd be an ESPN game at Notre Dame. Yeah.
Well, and I know we're probably tight on time, but that's the other part that, to me, and maybe it's because I'm in network television in a very small way. Can ESPN afford to own the sport the way they do now? I mean, this is a big cash grab. This is a lot more games. They already pay $600 million a year for basically 3 games. Well, now it's 11. That's a lot more money. They just shelled out nearly $3 billion for the NFL, $400 million for the NHL. They got Big Ten rights coming up in 2 years. They got to shell out $330 a year to the SEC beginning in 3 years. It's a lot of money they're shelling out. And college football is going to be standing there going, we're thinking about $2 billion a year. And you really think ESPN's going to be able to come up with $2 billion, or they'll want to? I think we're going to see what the NFL is.
Well,
so
that's
got 3 games on a Saturday on 3 different networks.
Yeah, that's the rub here too. And I think a lot of people don't understand. This has nothing to do with the NCAA. When you say college football, what the hell is college football? The college football playoff it's a private organization. They negotiate their own TV deal that they did with ESPN. ESPN, as far as I know, is not an owner in this deal. They are just a TV partner for the college football playoff. But the college football playoff will now have to negotiate. To me, it's got to be 2 networks at least, if not 3. At least I would think Fox and
ESPN
are going to have to split this sucker with a rotating national championship game or something.
But remember, ESPN owns the college football playoff for 5 more years as it currently exists. So the sport has to negotiate with ESPN to open up this playoff.
Is it 5 years? I thought this thing ended in 2022. This current deal.
No. Take a look. ESPN signed like a 12-year deal that runs through 2025.
But they're saying this could happen as soon as 2023. This deal. So that's going to be interesting. Yeah.
Well, because I think they're pretty sure that they're going to sit down and negotiate a new deal with ESPN, et cetera. But ESPN's going to want something for it. Because ESPN's like, let me get this straight. We're going to have to pay more money, lose total control of the sport, and we want us to do this. Why? So there's got to be something in it for ESPN.
Yeah. It's all good stuff. I told you he's one of the smartest guys I know. David Moulton. He sits side by each with Gary Danielson on Saturdays in the fall and Troy Aikman on Sundays in the fall. So he knows from which he speaks. David, good to catch up with you, man. Don't grow into your pitcher, please, will you? I mean, go the other way.
Well, Tom, I wish I could follow your vision. I really do. I just don't have the strength, Tom. There's always a buffet calling.
There you go. All right, man. Appreciate you. Good talking again.
All right. All the best to the family.
Thanks. You too. All right. Let's grab a break. So what do you think of all of that? Weigh in. Rick! 256-576-4977. 256-576-4977. More right after this. Open lines the rest of the way. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Tom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This action update is brought to you by Keeps. Tired of losing your hair? Get 50% off for your first order at Keeps.com/VSiN. Keeps.com/VSiN.
The latest odds to go on and win the NBA championship. The Brooklyn Nets still the favorite at +110, followed by the Jazz at +300, the Suns at +700, and the Clippers and Sixers each at +800. Tomorrow, UFC 263, the middleweight title bout, Israel Adesanya -265 against Marvin Vettori at +210, and also the flyweight championship fight, Davison Figueiredo at -230 against Brandon Moreno at +185. NBA playoffs, the Sixers and Hawks will play Game 3 in Atlanta. The Sixers a 1-point road favorite, the over-under 224.5. The Suns at the Nuggets in the West. Denver a 1.5-point favorite at home, the over-under 223.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey friends, Eli Gold here for Environmental Comfort Systems. If you're concerned about the air quality inside your home, give my friend Rick Smith a call at Environmental Comfort Systems. Their indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of indoor air contaminants. Give the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and see how comfortable you can be. Breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have the state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop too. Don't forget our parts department. So if you don't happen to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Tired of the same old menu options everywhere you go? Then you need to try Metro Diner in Huntsville and Madison. The award-winning Metro Diner serves up signature dishes like their Charleston shrimp and grits, famous fried chicken and waffles with strawberry butter, and lots more. Their entire menu is available anytime, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And stop by for brunch on Saturday or Sunday and enjoy the lowest price mimosas in town. Airport Road, Huntsville, and Highway 72 in Madison. In diner or at home, make it Metro Diner.
Braves baseball is celebrating 150 years, and this 2021 team is looking to kick down the door and make this season one for the history books.
Swing and a fly ball hit left toward their bullpen. Are you kidding me? Another pinch hit homer.
Your new home of the Atlanta Braves.
Hit high in the air to deep right center field. We are tied!
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the WZDX Pinpoint Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Another mostly cloudy sky with limited sunshine this afternoon across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid-80s. Just like the last several days, scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible through the heart of the afternoon, early into the evening, but that activity should taper off as we head into the overnight early Saturday morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, more of the Tom Abraham Show on your home for Crimson Tide Sports 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Roll Tide.
Welcome back, Tom Abraham Show. Metro Diner has sold out, by the way, for those of you that want to jump on deals. Metro Diner sold out. Rocket City Trash Pandas will be back in town on Tuesday night on the June the 15th. It'll be wine glass giveaway night. First 2,000 women, 21 and over, will receive a free wine glass. Reed's Jewelers ladies' night is June 15th. Then June 16th, it'll be dog-friendly night. School supplies drive as well on dog-friendly night, June 16th. And June 17th, throwback to the Huntsville Stars. First 2,500 adults, 18 or plus, and they'll have a Huntsville Stars shirt giveaway as well. And the Rocket City Trash Pandas will be wearing Huntsville Stars gear. So what do you think of that? I mean, is that the kind of thing that would interest you if there was a game to go to that Huntsville Stars one?
Are you kidding me? I'll be at Ladies Night. I'll be at Dog Night. I'll be at Stars Night.
Going every night?
I'm going to plan on trying to go. As long as it doesn't rain, it doesn't look too bad, I'm definitely going to go out there. Especially for the Stars Night, man. That sounds awesome. I have it up in the studio. I don't know. I don't think anybody can see it, but I literally have one of the old jerseys from like the last season. I know we were sitting here talking about it yesterday. They haven't really changed much, but I mean, I've got one of the old jerseys signed, by one of the old players that was on the roster at the time. I think his name was I can't Nick something. But anyway. Clearly, he didn't make it in the pros. But, I mean, it was really awesome to be able to, like, interact with these guys, with their last 15 games of the season, that 2015 season before they went to Biloxi. And, man, it was just something that, as a kid, I enjoy. So, like, anytime I could go to the ballpark, I'm there.
By the way, you have many different ways to communicate with the show. Not only the text window, I'll get to those in a moment, but you also have the Twitch comment window, and you've got the Facebook comment window. So what are they saying here? It's cheaper to replace the whole system is what the salesman's going to say. Is that what you're talking about, my fire alarm system?
Yeah, that's what Hedda Steele said on the Twitch chat.
I'm not running new wire, but it would just be – no, it wouldn't be that hard. I would like to plug and play. I would like to use the ends off of the wired system and plug those in. I know what I can do. What I can do is I can just go ahead and cut those ends off and cut the new ends on that come with the new ones and do that. But I don't know. Maybe I'll just take a walk on the wild side and go without these fire alarms. How about that? I got my carbon monoxide alarm. Question, NHL Stanley Cup, now that we've got a Final Four, Stanley Cup playoff predictions there. Yes, we do have a Final Four now with Vegas winning last night against the Colorado Avalanche. Luckily, they are out. I am pulling for the Islanders because Barry Trotz is a friend. Why does it say Isles and 8?
That's Jersey. He's a big Islanders fan. Don't worry about him. He's
8?
actually.
Is he saying like 2 games are going to go to overtime? Maybe. How's he talking about Islanders in 8?
I don't know. He's a Mets fan. That's probably what's wrong with him.
Sweep both. 8 games. Not 8 games total. In other words, in the next 2. No,
this is that weird fan, by the way, I was talking about. That's like a Mets, Islanders, Giants.
Oh, he's that guy?
Yeah, he's some weird fan. He's like the weird New York fan.
There are a few of those like that. It is interesting that there are a few like that, but there are a few that are like that aren't correct. You look, if you like the Rangers, you like the Yankees, the Rangers, the Giants, and the Knicks. That's the way that's supposed to work. And then if you're an Islander fan, you like the Islanders, the Mets, the Nets, and the Jets. Okay? That's the way it's supposed to work out of New York. I can just tell you that from experience. I am pulling for the Islanders the rest of the way. Barry Trotz. I've done some stuff with Barry back in the day. He used to come on the show all the time. when I was in Nashville. Barry Trotz and I shared the stage at the Grand Ole Opry. How about that? We were co-presenters at the Grand Ole Opry for the Pepsi Night of Champions. We stood together in the Circle of Love. You know what the Circle of Love is at the Grand Ole Opry?
No,
I don't know if you know.
No, I've actually never been.
What the Circle of Love is, see, the original Grand Ole Opry is the Ryman Theater. All right? The Ryman Auditorium, I should say. The Ryman Auditorium in downtown Nashville. So the Ryman was the Grand Ole Opry. Then they built the new Grand Ole Opry out at Opry Mills. But when they built the new Grand Ole Opry out at Opry Mills, what they did was they cut a section of the stage, the original stage from the Grand Ole Opry at the Ryman. They cut a big circle out, I don't know, maybe 6 feet across, maybe 8 feet across. They cut that circle out, and they took it to the new Grand Ole Opry stage, and they put it on the stage, and they call that the Circle of Love. Okay. And when the performers perform, you stand in the Circle of Love when they sing and stuff. So anyway, for a few years, 2 or 3 years anyway, I was one of the presenters at the Pepsi Night of Champions at the Grand Ole Opry. And so you would stand in the Circle of Love, and then you would give away awards. So Trotzy and I did that together for a couple of years. And
oh, wow, that sounds like a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
To be able to go up there anytime, it seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to do it. So anyway, I am now pulling for the Islanders, even though they took out my beloved Bruins.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pull for the Montreal Canadiens, the team with the richest history in the history of the NHL. The New York Yankees of the NHL are the Montreal Canadiens. The Alabama Crimson Tide are the Montreal Canadiens with their 25 Stanley Cups, I believe. I may have just made that up, Grizz. You can research me if you want. 25 Stanley Cups, I think, for the Montreal Canadiens. They're going up against the team that has the least amount of history in the history of the NHL, the Vegas Golden Knights, who have only been around for 20 minutes. Okay? So those teams are playing. I do not want to see the Vegas Knights and the Tampa Bay Lightning, which is what it's going to be most likely. I want to see a Stanley Cup. If they want to keep my attention, I need to see the Islanders and the Canadiens. I would watch the Islanders-Canadiens Stanley Cup final. I got to be honest with you. If it 24 Stanley Cups, I was close. If it's Lightning Golden Knights, the hockey season's over for me. I'm telling you right now, the hockey season's over for me. Are you stoked for the Hawks tonight?
Of course. I'm so excited, man. I just hope that they can pull out a victory at home. If they can get at least one at home, I'd be pretty happy, to be honest.
Then they go back to they got to win them both to keep their home ice advantage. They would be giving it back if they split. Really, you don't want to split. I mean, you don't want to split.
No, I don't want them to.
You want to get them all. You want to get them both.
I don't want them to split, but man, I think because Joel Embiid didn't win the MVP, the man is averaging 40 points a game. I mean, you gotta have Clint Capella show up. You gotta have the big show up. John Collins. I don't know how many times I keep complaining about how lazy this guy is. He needs to really work for that contract next year because, I mean, I don't think the Hawks are going to re-sign him. I think whoever gives him more money, he's out of there. But I think it's a lot of times where, like, double teaming guys and he's standing there and then Bede makes a great play because he's not playing defense very well. So it's just going to be a fun game to watch, I'm sure, because they've got all the shooters in Atlanta. And this future is looking really bright for the Hawks, for sure.
The Bees are trash. Get the hell out of here!
By the way, apparently,
get off of my Twitter.
Apparently, this guy is an Islanders fan and a Devils fan.
Well, you can't be an Islanders fan.
Sounds like a Tom Abraham, with the.
No, you can't be an Islanders fan and.
I like the Packers too.
I like the Packers. I do
my
like
two
the
favorite
Packers.
teams.
They're my NFC team is the Packers, and I like the Titans. I like the Raiders. I have 5 teams. I have one team that I love, and then I have 4 or 5 teams that I like. Okay, that's a different thing because I gotta have team when I'm watching a game, man. I gotta have teams. I know my way around a pipe here and there. I do know my way around a pipe.
we found that quite funny one day. Me and Steve and I kind of played around with that.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. I'm sure you guys did enjoy that. Text window from Kramer. Dog, with the added games, I wonder if that increases the likelihood of first and second round prospects sitting out. More field time equals more injury risk. Not in a playoff game. Now, actually, what this does is that means that you'll have more star players playing in more games because there's going to be 11 games in this. I do not foresee any college star sitting out a playoff game. No, that's not going to happen. No, you're not going to play in the first round and then in the second round say, all right, I'm good, I'm going to the NFL. No, you're going to have more players from the other teams sitting out other bowl games. I think you'll have that. But you will not have more players who are involved. If you are involved in this is actually going to keep more of those guys, more of those guys involved. Any thoughts on Jack Eichel and where his best fit? Look, I'm doing a hockey show now. Jack Eichel and where his best fit be on a new team seems like a divorce is imminent. Yeah, I'll take him in Boston. The two teams I pull for in hockey, Boston and the Predators, both have an offensive deficiency. So, yeah, I would love to see Jack Eichel in Boston or in, if not Boston, in Nashville. That's how I would want to see that come out if it were to happen. Text window. Maybe the reason they went to 12 teams instead of 6 or 8 is trying to get as many possible to shut up. Who's going to listen to I should be at Ben number 12? Yeah. Look, in my scenario, it's an 18 playoff, but it's really 16. Because in my scenario, I would like to see 6 14-team conferences. In those 6 14-team conferences would each play a conference championship game. So that makes 12 teams. Okay? Then you add 2 wild cards. So really my deal is a 14-team deal. But the first thing you have to do is win your conference. In the American, put them on equal footing. Make them a power conference. They got good teams in there with Cincinnati, Memphis, UCF, whatever. They got enough good teams in there. But everybody has to get to 14 teams. And you win your way in. Then you have 2 wild cards. And the 2 wild cards would take care of some random team in the group of 4, some random team that somehow somebody thinks deserves to be in this mess. But more likely what it does is it takes care of an upset, a great Power 5 team that got upset along the way, but is clearly a team that deserves to be in the playoff. That's what it should do.
I completely agree with you. I mean, I think that's smart. I mean, why wouldn't you want a level playing field all around? Have six programs that are 6 conferences that have 14 teams. It would make more sense. Get some more people involved in another conference, and then we can do away with this Big 12. Even though you have 10 people in your conference, which makes no sense. But anyway, I mean, I like it, but I just love how people are going to complain about this too, because it's just going to benefit the top 4 teams. I mean, Alabama with a week off or 2 weeks off or however long they get. I mean, that's just perfect for Nick Saban and other teams. I think that the bye week
is a huge advantage.
And if a team wins, I mean, it could help. It could help. Like you were talking about Oregon. It could help an Oregon team that we not really. I mean, I get it because of COVID and stuff like that. That's the only reason they played in the Pac-12 championship. But they did go on to win the Pac-12 championship, and it could help them. Who knows? What if they're injured? And what happens if Alabama slips up and they go down to 5 and they got to play that first playing game? And then Oregon gets a little, help or whatever. And then guess what? They're meeting a banged-up Alabama team off fresh rest. Either way, I think it's going to really help those top 4 to 5 teams or 6 teams like you have. Or really, it's only going to help the top 4. But it's going to help those top 4 teams anyway. And I think that people are going to complain about it because you're going to have at least maybe 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Heck, who knows? SEC teams in the thing. And all we're going to hear is how it's SEC biased and how – it's not helping any other teams, and then we'll go back to being, back to 8 or back to 4 or whatever. I mean, it just seems like we just keep adding stuff because we want to make everybody happy, and we're not going to end up making everyone happy at the end of the day.
Well, you're never going to make everyone happy. I understand that. My issue is that just there's such disparity between the Power 5 and the Group of 5 conferences. That's why I'm good with saying, all right, this is a different kind of animal. But when you look at the schedule, if you look at the American, I'm okay with the American because I think they got some legit teams there.
Yeah.
But when you look at the schedule that Coastal Carolina played, I mean, they beat Kansas, which is arguably the worst.
That was a
team.
tough game.
Yeah, worst Power 5 team of all Power 5 teams. So they went and they beat Kansas. Nice win there. Then they played Campbell, Arkansas State, Louisiana, Georgia Southern, Georgia State, South Alabama, Troy, Appalachia State, Texas State, Liberty, That game was canceled, actually. BYU and Troy. Okay, again. Beating Troy 42-38. All right? And the BYU team, I thought, was a pretender. I really did. I thought that BYU team was a bit of a pretender. I'm telling you that half of the teams in the SEC would be 11-1, 10-2, 11-1, or undefeated against that schedule. Then what are you going to do? Oh, they deserve to be there. Oh, go to Carolina. All right, let's get a break. We'll come back and wrap it up next. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Tom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Chad, cue the cheesy Italian music. So you're in charge of the dinner spot, and the family is a hard group to please. Dad wants award-winning 21-day age certified Angus beef. Mom craves authentic Italian food like great-grandma. Sissy pretty much won't eat anything but fresh seafood. And old life of the party, Uncle Walter, likes to enjoy a cigar after dinner with some live local entertainment and some killer cocktails. So you think you're in a pickle? Well, you're not. Relax. I'm Tom Chapman, chef at Nick's Ristorante at 10300 Bailey Cove Road, just south of Weatherly. We have all that and more. Our friendly and helpful staff is eager to help you Tuesday through Saturday, starting at 5. So, corral that crazy crew of yours and give us a call at 256-489-8280 or tell them to check us out at nicksristorante.com. I promise you, the gang will all think you're a culinary cruise director of awesomeness if you take them all to Nick's. See you soon. Ciao. Okay, Chad, kill that music.
Nick's is for patrons 19 or older.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here. I hope all of you are well. These are trying times we're experiencing right now, and I want you to know that we at Baumhauer's are committed more than ever to providing a legendary dining experience to everyone. Everyone is important to us, and everyone is welcome. Please allow us to serve you in a way that makes you feel safe, appreciated, welcome, and special. Because we're all special in the eyes of the ones and the one that counts. God bless.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
So I'm going to watch it on TV.
The game's on. Oh, I almost forgot. I'll be right there.
We like sports and we don't care who knows. From shooting hoops to the Super Bowl. We like sports and we don't care who knows.
Football, tennis, hockey, golf.
The game is starting. Everyone is here. I got my snacks, my friends, and a beer.
So I'm going to watch it on TV.
Are you ready for football? A Monday night party!
So I'm going to watch it on TV. So I'm going to watch it on TV.
What to watch on TV tonight brought to you by TOC. The only place that you need to go when it comes to orthopedics is TOC, TOC Sports. And it doesn't have to be a sports injury. Any kind of an injury, you can get it taken care of at TOC. From rehab to surgery, they've got it all covered. That's TOC. Let me give you an update, by the way, quickly, because one of the things to watch on TV this weekend is going to be the Bassmaster Classic. Tomorrow morning, live on Fox. Tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., I think. Live on Fox tomorrow morning. You can check it out. Set your DVR for it if you're not going to be able to see it live. And then on the FS1 on Sunday, Championship Sunday, it'll be on FS1, so you want to check that out. Steve Kennedy still leading the way, 22 pounds, 2 ounces at Sam Rayburn Lake in Texas. Chris Jones, wow. I mean, this guy is a qualifier from the AAA level, if you will. Chris Jones is in second place at 19 pounds. Patrick Walters, Cody Bird, Ed Lochran, Matt Robertson, Hank Cherry, Corey Johnson, Drew Benton, Drew Cook, and Jamie Harton. That is your top 10 right now. They're very, very bunched up. Going to be exciting stuff. And Grizz, tonight, enjoy your Hawks and 76ers.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Believe Atlanta.
We will have, after Chuck Oliver, Paul Feinbaum, and a truncated drive, we will have Braves baseball for you tonight against the Marlins. It's all coming up. It's a naked phone right there. I got rid of that. I got rid of that stupid case. I got a new case coming tomorrow. I hope I don't break my new
good.
phone. Yeah, it's a naked i12. It's going to do it for us. This is 97.7 ESPN.